Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Rule 34 podcast, Season 2. I'm your host, Jack, joined by my fellow co host,
Dominic Castillo.
And real quickly, before we get into it, I just want to say rest in peace to Scott Hall, otherwise known as Razor Ramon. He was a wrestler who wrestled in both WWF, WCW, New Japan. Sadly passed away this week. Haven't had a chance to say it, so I'll say it on here. Rest in peace to him. And also, apologies for both of us taking so long to put out another episode. It's been about a week and a half. Had some scheduling conflicts from here and there, while also trying to figure out what subject we might want to approach on an episode, But, so how have you been, Dom?
I've been pretty good. Although I have to admit I am at fault for these late episodes because I am somehow oversleeping through my alarm to wake up on time. So I will take fault for that. Aside from that, everything else seems to be, I guess, okay at the moment. My grades have been just, I guess, stagnant. I guess they haven't been going up, but they haven't been going down either. So that's good. Nothing much else has been going on for me. That is, I'm just waiting upon on doing my my second round of taxes and stuff like that because my parents are still looking around to buy a new property.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is a little bit conflicting considering I'm the only person who has done the second round of taxes or who was about to, but it's also a registered citizen here in the U.S. My parents obviously are not, so having to buy a house under my name will be a little bit difficult to pull out, but we'll try to suffice somehow. But aside from that, my family's been pretty okay. The cat has been pretty okay. But slowly every day we're getting dangerously close to getting evicted.
Mm-hmm.
To those who don't know, not too long ago we got a cat, and apparently we're not supposed to have cats. Although she's not much of a nuisance to others. However, the manager found out about it. They placed an eviction form if we didn't release the cat outside. So we gave it away to a couple of friends that we know, and after a couple of months, we got her back, and now we possibly face eviction if they find out about her. But aside from that, we've been pretty okay. How about you, Jack? How have you been?
I've been doing all right. Just kind of living life right now at the moment. Just catching up on different things. Trying to accomplish the little things each and every day, try and get some form of stuff done to feel productive during the day,
Yeah.
Today I'm going to go see the Batman movie and the Jujutsu Kaisen movie coming out. So that should be a lot of fun to, just go and watch and definitely see, especially how the Batman movie holds up,
Right.
I don't have that much confidence. I've heard people say good things, but I don't know. I just, it's very difficult to go in with an open mind, seeing as how DC movies have done in the past,
Right.
It's so yeah, I'm going to go see it, see how I enjoy it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing this past week and a half,
Yeah, I do be like that. Also, another worldly news. Did you see the thing that the thing that happened in Japan? The 7.3 or 7.5 earthquake?
I did not see that.
Yeah, so apparently around the northern parts of Japan, an earthquake struck, and like I'm pretty sure like people started like instantly sending videos on the internet of like their homes or their apartments or their office buildings like shaking like violently. And I'm just thinking that like at any moment, like one of these earthquakes can just create a bad tsunami, as with what happened back in 2011.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no tsunami happened, but since it was a 7.5 earthquake, it was pretty violent to some people who were more closer to the center of it. But yeah, pretty crazy, I'd say.
And speaking of other, not necessarily worldly news, but I would consider it kind of in the realm of news. I can't remember if it was last week, but did you by chance happen to see what Travis Scott's new foundation, in a sense, is?
What do you mean by this?
So Travis Scott, I can't remember what day, but it might have been last week. He put out like on his story and a post about this new foundation that he's starting called Heal, and it's basically this kind of foundation to help out the victims of the Astro World event. You remember we talked about it on an episode a while back.
Yeah.
And I think it was also like there's other things that was discussed on it, but oh, so it says an initiative that aims to make events safer and to protect the youth is part of it,
Right.
But he put out it's called Project Heal, the full title. It's I think maybe you can consider it I think you can consider it a foundation because it says is a multi-tier initiative dedicated to addressing challenges facing today's youth, especially those marginalized and at-risk communities. And then it also says, in conjunction with the Cactus Jack Foundation, another one of his foundations, Project Heal unites initiatives ranging from academic scholarships, free mental health resources, a creative design center, and a first-ever tech-driven solution for event safety. These efforts, independently and collectively, aim to solve challenges and overcome issues impacting the youth community. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
Interesting. Well, I mean, it sounds like I don't know. For me, it sounds just weird. I don't know. I feel like this is an odd approach for the situation that happened. If you catch my drift, it's like I'm not. It's like this is something that should have. Like I feel like this is a project that should have happened separately, apart from what from what happened from the unfortunate situation that happened at the event. If that makes sense, it's like something different that was sprouted out of this. Even though, yes, they did mention in that little paragraph, you said that there is they do talk about event safety, but I feel like that should have been something that should have already been implemented within each and single different concert. And the other bits, I mean, I guess that's also very helpful. The scholarships, the mental health awareness, stuff like that, and of the such. Yeah, that definitely seems very good in terms of educating those who don't know about event safety. However, it's just I don't know. I feel like this was a very odd way of trying to solve the problem that happened.
Yeah, I understand that, and I do want to say I think it was best he took his time to come out with this, because just from from this kind of perspective, if he came out with something right away, you would feel because the media and the people, of this world would automatically try and say that he's just doing it to cover up for the event, or he's trying to get good publicity back. If he were to do something right away, and of course there's still going to be people that say that now, even with him doing this like months later.
Yeah.
But better late than never.
True.
And yeah, it should have been something, because I think we talked about it in that episode. We said that like there's many people at fault here. It's the event holders themselves for not hiring and scheduling the right amount of security for such an event of its size. It's on Travis himself for obviously it's much difficult for that large of a crowd, but there's things like that to just stop the show real quick. And there were points where he did, but seeing stuff and seeing like ambulances drive out like through the crowd, it's also on the crowd themselves for not making way, or a ton of people not making way. And then of course it's just a simple thing of, yeah, I get it, you can be in the moment, but like, how do you not notice when someone's on the ground?
True.
But I like the effort he's putting in here, and it feels weird that he's bunching all these things together, but at the same time, it's not like they're all under one thing. It's 4 different initiatives under this project,
Yeah.
and the detail of Initiative 4, which is the event one. It says this effort will bring together all of the relevant stakeholders from government, public safety, emergency response, healthcare, event management, music, and technology. So basically, kind of like what you were saying, this is kind of something that should have been done already from before.
Yeah.
These are all the types of people that should have been involved in the efforts of concerts and festivals of such sizes.
So, but I mean, thankfully he did take this time with it, and as you said, better late than never. But I just feel like all of this could have just been simply solved if the concert would stop, or if it was encouraged for the safe. If safety was encouraged more, for everyone else. But I don't. It just feels odd with this sort of program, in my opinion. Thankfully it's something. Thankfully something is being done about it, but that doesn't disregard the death of those who've been injured.
Yeah, and here's something that's even more disheartening. In the paragraph about that I just read, the next sentence after I said about all those people that were going to be involved, it says, it will be the first time all of these groups and individuals will work together to most effectively address the safety challenges faced by future large-scale events. The first time?
Okay.
The first time that all these groups will work together. That is very disheartening, that the government, public safety, emergency response, healthcare, event management, and all that, none of them were working together, all together, before these events of large scales.
You got a point. I think what's even more... Oh, my bad. What were you going to say?
Continue.
I was going to say that, like that sentence of them all collaborating as one to talk about this and to, focus on creating new solutions. I feel like they themselves are not going to do anything, because they got their own thing. All the artists themselves, I don't think they're all going to come together as one, like in a sort of council meeting, to focus on the problems at hand. When technically speaking, they themselves are the problem. If you catch my drift, like how with Travis Scott and not Travis Scott particularly, but a bunch of other, let's say, creators who somehow are able to create very large fan bases and very large concerts, and within those concerts there could be a bunch of not mosh pits within it. I'm not sure how you call it, but very intense partying per se. Energy, yeah. I feel like I don't think that each person who's part of this initiative is gonna I guess, how would you say, contribute much, per se. It's just going to be a bunch of other social workers who are going to be making more of the work.
Yeah, I'll say this. You know, this is no attempts to, you know, you know, talk bad on the man, and this program, it was obviously very good,
Yeah.
It's like we're saying, it's very good that it's coming up, but it's just something that should have already been happening,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I have no doubt that emergency response, and the government weren't already involved because, obviously you need to have people on standby in case of any events, need the government's permission to hold such a large event. You need to plan that ahead with different venues and different areas, But,
Yeah.
this is stuff that should have been done beforehand, for
Yeah,
any event,
exactly.
whether it's, political rallies, concerts, festivals, different events, where large people are going to be, attending, a large amount of people are going to be attending, you should have all of this on standby already, And it kind of already has been because, for political rallies and stuff, there's always usually, emergency response on standby, different, police and healthcare on standby, for any events that may happen,
Yeah.
And it's like, so for this event, it's like it should have already been done. And like, to build on what you were saying, it's not that, we're trying to say that these groups aren't going to be working together. It's that they need to prove that they will be working together and prove to the people, that their safety is going to be priority. And building off of what you were saying, I think it was best said. There's one video I was watching where, the thing with Travis, he started off as a small artist, and he really built this fan base that has all that energy, And if you look at his previous concerts, even when he was in the smallest venues, things were going crazy because of the amount of energy they had, Travis has been arrested before for, on their words, attempting to cause a riot,
Yeah.
And, that's not to hold that against him, but, he has that in his past. So it's like, that goes to show you, even in his smaller stages, before he was holding these large festivals, that he had that type of fan base that, is rowdy and high energy, And like I said, it was best said, the issue was when he started cultivating larger audiences, he didn't think of how to calm it down,
Exactly.
And, didn't think as a result how it would play out in much larger events such as the festival,
Yeah.
But so, I mean, it is a good thing that they're putting out this project to help out, But it's one of those things that, we're not trying to be overly negative. It's just that, it's one of those kind of believe it when I'll see it type things, because if they themselves are saying this is the first time all those groups of people will be getting together, it's, like I said, disheartening because it should have been, they should have all been working together previously before any of these events occurred.
Agreed. Man.
But anyways,
But yeah,
thinking.
no, I was just gonna say that it also falls on the crowd themselves to behave responsibly. But when it falls onto the crowd themselves, each individual is gonna have to know the safety and the precautions. But when big artists of such are playing crazy music or intense music, I don't think they're gonna behave the way they're meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Just thought it was pretty interesting to bring up when I saw it. I was like, hey, we talked about that. Let's see what our thoughts are on this project that he has, these initiatives that he wants to push forward. It's a wide range of things, Giving kids scholarships, looking out for the youth. Especially because sadly a lot of those people that passed that night were pretty young,
Yeah, of course.
But, with that said, again, hope to see it work out, and that it's actually, people's words are actually acted upon, truthfully. And, we'll move on from here to today's topic. And today, another tier list for you all. Dom and I will be ranking school subjects. We have about, I want to say, what is that? 11 subjects, right, Dom?
Yeah, 1, 2.
11 subjects, taking into account all of our experience, basically from middle school and high school, with these subjects.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. So you want to start? What subject you want to start with, Dom?
Well, I think we could all begin on something I think we all taken, like English, for example.
All right.
So, all right, do you want to start? You want me to start? How you want to do this?
So first off, let's break down our criteria. Obviously, we have the usual S, A, B, C, F. But what do you think? What do you think would classify a subject as an S versus the rest,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think it's multiple things. You obviously got to have a good experience, You got to have had good enough teachers that gave you a good enough experience in that subject,
Yeah.
It also depends, because obviously everything's going to be opinion. It depends on whether you even like the subject or not, Whether you were skilled at it, And then another thing that factors into the people that you had in those courses, again, going towards your overall experience,
Yeah.
Well, so anything else you would want to add on to that? Like our criteria for ranking these subjects?
I mean, I also, I think this would be more of a personal thing, like the memories we made along with each classes, maybe. But I feel like that would maybe make some conflict in terms of our rankings. It could be a bad class, but we enjoyed our time in there. If that makes sense.
Another thing too, overall, if we felt like we learned something, our overall learning experience.
Yeah,
because you can have a bad experience because maybe you didn't have a great set of classmates, but you still overcame that and learned because the teacher was good,
Yeah.
So starting off with English, where would you want to rank this though?
So, let's say English. I did learn a lot throughout the 4 years, especially during the senior year. I'm more comfortable with writing essays and, identifying, rhetorics and all of the likes. But I didn't enjoy my time too much in English, I'll be honest. It did get pretty boring. However, I would remember many times back in then, I would conversate with my partners, and we would have like huge discussions, or sometimes just very quick, small discussions about a specific topic. But overall, English was just a very slippery slope in terms of the work that was given at hand, especially during sophomore year. With what was the guy's name?
The musician. Don't say names.
I'm gonna call him the musician.
Yeah, but
a very good musician.
I understand, and I like the way you described it as a slope because, personally, with me, English kind of was one of my favorite subjects, but I don't know. Overall, like you said, it was like a slope where from freshman year and on, it was like it kind of went downhill for me and became one of my least favorite subjects. Not because, the teachers were inherently bad or their teaching was bad. I enjoy a lot of the teachers and that, but it's just kind of a difficult subject to really learn in because a lot of the stuff that was required, I want to say it's one of those things where it's you gotta have the skill already, not necessarily mastered, but it's one of those things think about it like junior year when it was having to analyze and be able to tell whether something was all the different methods that they told you to look out for, like alliteration, personification, what type of diction they were using, it's kind of difficult to teach someone that here's how to identify what type of tone they're having or what their diction is what is signifying,
Yeah.
It's very difficult to kind of teach that, so it's it kind of made the process difficult when you didn't really know how to identify those things.
Who you got a point?
So, where do you want to rank this?
Uh,
Or where would you personally rank English?
I will put it at a B. Only reason being was because I didn't, especially when we had to do the SAT and the ACT essays.
Hmm.
You know, personally, I liked English only because it was a class I did somewhat okay in. I did have some good memories here and then. However, there was just some parts that, slippery slope, as we said.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in B as well, just because, like you're saying, the memories of those classes were good, but overall, a lot of the English classes were kind of
Yeah.
All right, all right? Since you chose English, I guess I'll choose the next one. So I mentioned, it being from middle school to high school experiences, which is why I specifically included this one, music. You and I took music in middle school, Dom.
I remember.
You only took it for 1 year. I took it for all 3 years of middle school. But in your 1 year of experience, what would you say your experience was?
Okay, so I did enjoy it a lot. It was pretty difficult learning at first, since I began out with the trumpet, which kind of sucked because I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I don't even know how I got into the class, and I don't even know if I had the chance of picking any other instrument. Jack, did you get the chance to play whatever instrument you liked, or was it just you were just selected one thing and that's it forever?
No, you got to choose. I mean, it was kind of one of those things where it's like at the start of the year you choose, and you kind of had to change early on in a sense.
Yeah.
Or I don't really know, because I mean, my sixth grade year I played trumpet, seventh grade year I played trombone, and then eighth grade year I went back to trumpet.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then,
But
I mean, some people kind of changed around, but for the most part, people kind of stuck with what they went with from the start. I know a couple people kind of switched instruments, but yeah. So, but continue on.
But yeah, I had a very good time. Although I didn't learn the trumpet as much as I thought I would. I'll be honest, I did pretty poorly. I didn't really did my best. I'll be honest. I tried to do my best. I'll be honest. I tried to do follow everything through. Although I practically never did. But I mean that's just my bad. I guess skill. But aside from the memories themselves, it was absolutely fun. I can't lie. The performances when we performed in front of our parents and such, that was pretty nerve wracking. I'll be honest, because just all of us there. But it was fun. I can't lie about that. Then also came the what was it? The Disneyland thingy. That was pretty crazy because that was my first ever time going to Disneyland. It was insane.
I believe I don't remember if it was that year or the year before, but did we go backstage? I forget.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
And then also going to the concert halls to see live orchestras.
Yeah. That was honestly pretty fun. Because I mean, I don't think the average person could just walk in there, right? It would have to be planned and reserved for school students or I would assume.
Yeah, you remember the one time we sat behind the orchestra at the Disney concert hall in downtown?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was a very unique experience, definitely good. I have it in S tier because also I don't know if you remember this, but the times, because there was a computer lab right below the music room. They were in the same area. It was 2 floors.
Yeah.
And I always had the most fun being in the computer lab because we'd be there breaking down music, looking at the lyrics and stuff, breaking down the meaning, looking at things such as, how does the tone of the instruments, match the mood of the song or the lyrics of the song. It kind of was the basis for me becoming the analytical guy that I am. So I definitely have it at an S. What about you, Dom?
I definitely give it an S. I got a lot of memories, and especially when we played and when we were able to make our own music. I think we used Bandcamp or something like that.
I forget the 2 sites we used, but yeah, we even got to make our own music for projects that time.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was very cool, and it was a thing where you could also implement other things, like if you could find an instrumental of another song, kind of like sampling, you know. It was like our teacher would allow us to use those in our own songs, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, so definitely an S experience. Moving on, do got about 14 minutes left, so kind of do a speed run. Let's knock out two ones real quick, Dom, that are kind of easy because they weren't classes we took for a long time. Economics and physics.
Econ and physics. Okay. I guess we could begin first with physics. Physics.
Difficult class.
Difficult class.
Not for the average student, for sure.
Yeah. It was personally more difficult when it was hot outside, because we're in California. It could get pretty hot outside. But not only that, but the other things that we had to do, like what was it? I think before we had to like run up and down the hill.
Wait, you're confusing physics with PE.
Oh no! Wait. Oh shoot! Oh my bad. Physics difficult.
Especially the AP course.
The AP course. I'll be honest. I never took a regular physics course.
I took it. However, I would say it was definitely easier than AP physics. Man, AP physics, man, that is definitely not for the average student, man. That was some of the most difficult. That was probably one of the most difficult course I've ever taken. Yes. So much math. So much math.
You got a point.
I mean, both teachers for regular physics and AP physics were cool, you know. Very chill and young guys, you know. Very helpful and patient with the students. So I'm not going to give it an F. I'm going to give it a C because, it wasn't the best experience. But, the teachers were at least very nice and very caring and were actually, had the students, like, how would you say? The students' future in mind, and, the students' best in their mind.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Where would you rank it, Don?
I would also give it a C. Reason being the absolute difficulty. Because AP Physics was like my first introduction to physics overall. And immediately jumping an entire year of class being physics, it wasn't, a lovely thing to go through. And especially with the AP exam that came through, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Very difficult. But,
yeah.
Economics. Very short one. This was intern with Gov, so it was only one semester of economics. It was a very chill course, very easy material to digest, very easy to learn, and it was an easy class to pass. And plus, our teacher, she was very sweet, she was very kind. Again, another teacher that cared about the students' future and all that. And then, she was very chilled and laid back, and was kind of, I would say it wasn't like for a lot of the courses, like she was a teacher that meshed well with the students and was able to get them to do their work while also not being overly like boring. She still allowed you all to work in groups, and get things done. And it was always, a good amount of work. It was enough to finish in the day, but wasn't like, it wasn't like too much where you couldn't finish into one course, but it wasn't also too little that you'd finish sometimes and be doing nothing all course,
Right.
It was always pretty well paced,
Yeah.
And plus, the memories I have in that class are very fond. Especially, I don't want to. This is gonna seem mean, but we had a friend in this course who, this was a test that we were specifically allowed to use notes, and they still failed. So right. That's a funny memory for us because, we kind of used it as a point of teasing them. We're like, how do you get to use your notes and still fail? So that's a good memory we have with that course. I'm putting that at S. I don't know about you, but econ was definitely, like I said, a very chill course that was a lot of fun.
I think for me, now that I think about it, I don't have that many fond memories about econ.
I can remember some. So Dom took AP Gov and then got econ after. it's technically, we can kind of mesh the two because, like we said, they were both each a semester and paired together. Do you remember the time when your guys' class was filled with smoke?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that
happened.
I'm surprised you remember that. But yeah, I remember that one moment. I believe it was just a simple day, right? And then
You guys were waiting outside the classroom door, and then you just see a bunch of smoke. So you came down to the
yeah,
college center to wait for the teacher because she hadn't shown up yet.
yeah, exactly. And I think what was coming down. I don't think it was just like any regular smoke that could possibly been from a fire, but I think it might have been like a toxic. I think might have been methane or something. It
Who
was not
knows what
methane.
it was, but that was a memory I remember.
Yeah, and then we all went down to the what was it called? Not the teachers' lounge, the student center.
Yeah.
And we all went down, and I'm not sure if we did our work down there, or we just did nothing and just chilled with our phones out.
You guys had to go
But
to a different class, I remember. Afterwards, when the teacher showed up.
yeah, you're not wrong, you're not wrong.
But man, and the crazy part was, the college center was right below that class.
Oh yeah, true.
So who knows what could happen? But that was a crazy experience as well. What would you rate it, Dom?
Man, oof. I mean, I didn't have good memories. I'll be honest. It wasn't that fun. A lot of working, a lot of just work. But I mean, there was some good memories. Although there's this one memory that I do remember that I'm not sure if I should point out. But just because of this one memory, I'm gonna put it at a B. Just because of
I think I have an
personal.
idea of what memory, but we'll move on. All right, two more quick ones. Because we got about 7 minutes and still a couple other subjects. PE, just real quickly, give it a ranking. PE. 'Cause
Okay,
it's PE. You should know what PE. Everyone should know what PE is. I actually only took 1 year instead of 2 years, which I was surprised. But I'm gonna give PE a B. It was kind of mid. It was fun at times, but wasn't the best course.
Yeah, I agree. I'd give B as well. Only reason because we will all be sweaty and stuff coming back into class.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be the best of times, especially when it would be a hot day as well. And I personally wish we had a bigger sort of campus so that we could like maybe run around laps. But considering we were like limited to like such a small space, we would have to just simply go around within the campus, which was not a perfect circle by any means. But I did have my good memories there. I'll be honest. Especially during the freshman year when actually I'm not gonna put it out, but good times.
Yeah, there's a lot of memories that we just can't point out. Foreign language. Our school only had Spanish, so what would you rate Spanish class, Dom?
But I hated it. I'll be honest. For my personal opinion, I just hated it. I'm putting it off. I hate it. I don't know why.
I'm gonna put it at C, just because the stuff was easy, but the classes for the most part were kind of boring.
Yeah, especially because it was more
Chemistry.
chem.
I'm gonna give it a C. It wasn't difficult, but it also wasn't interesting.
Yeah, I personally found it too many small things to take care of, especially with how like our teacher specifically looked and had to like stamp you for it, if you remember. Oh, for us, if I remember correctly, we had to get stamps for every single time we would have school. I mean, in class, which would make for some very odd conversations about how to get a specific stamp for a specific assignment, which would not always correlate well among the students and the teacher. But aside from that, I didn't have much of a great time. That's on
Biology.
bio.
I'm gonna give it an A, because the teacher was great. She made it real easy to learn the stuff, but also there's a lot of memorization. I'm not the best at memory, There's good memories in there, of course, and the two courses, both regular bio freshman year and AP bio senior year.
Yeah,
The two teachers were good, but it's just so much to learn, And it was like always the little things, and the specific phrasing, of like you had to know the scientific names for a lot of the different parts of a body,
True, yeah. I think for me with biology, it was a very fun ordeal. I can't lie. The freshman year was very fun with the main man that we know. And AP Bio was... I feel like AP Bio was just simply biology again, just once more, but just a bit more... just a bit more increased of a vocabulary that we had to remember. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic and stuff like that, we were never able to do the dissection of a pig. I think it was.
Yeah.
Was it
like a pig heart or something? I forgot what it exactly was.
Yeah, and I wanted to do that. Although, yes, that's weird now sounding. Just saying it out loud. I wanted, to me personally, the dissection of whatever is like a prize for finally beating or finally completing, biology or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. I still remember the last day of when we were inside of a biology class in AP Bio. I think we're drawing dragons, right? I think.
Oh yeah, we drew dragons. I remember that. That was cool.
It was dragons on the specification of like what was it?
It was like the allele thing we were doing, where it's like you had to decide like what they were inheriting from each parent, right? I think.
Exactly. That's what it was.
Yeah, very fun class. Art. I'm gonna give it a B.
I'm gonna give it an S.
I don't know. I liked both teachers. Actually, I'm gonna put an A. I like both teachers. I like both classes, or all three classes, because it was art, freshman, sophomore, and senior for us. It was difficult at times, but I really fell in love with it again back senior year. So, it really was a really good course. Really had good memories in there. Can't say what the jokes were, but Dom made a lot of dark humor jokes sophomore year that really had people questioning things. I don't know if you remember, but good times, And then our final two, history and math. History, Dom, I'm going to put in an S because it was always a fun course. And more specifically, junior year, AP US History was a really good course. I really enjoyed the teacher, and I actually really felt like I learned something for once, Not to say that I didn't learn the other courses, but like kind of how we talked about in one of our older episodes, it was like, a lot of times we were doing things for the grade, and a lot of times, we were just doing whatever we could to get the best grade, but this was a course where it's like I genuinely felt like I was learning each and every single month, and I genuinely enjoyed a lot of what I was learning. And that was mainly due to part of our teacher that we had. He took things very seriously, especially because I remember the year before because I knew him through my brother, I told him, I'm going to pass your both semesters of your class with A's. And he was like, I don't care what your grade is, just pass the test, so that's really something good.
Right.
What would you give it, Dom?
For history, I'm going to give it an A, only because I did learn a lot. I'll be honest, the teaching was very fun. However, I'll be honest, it did get pretty boring at times, except for during junior year, which was, it was especially fun, I'll be honest. For math, I'm going to give it an S, because all the entire 4 years of math, honestly, it was pretty fun. And, and to this day, I'm still using some of the math, for my classes and such. And honestly, it's been pretty helpful. All the good memories have been made. I can't lie. It's brought me to a good point for the college stuff I'm currently going through.
We had good teachers. I had good memories in math, but unfortunately, I'm going to put it in an F because, as everyone knows, I hate math. It's probably my worst subject. But that's just me being biased because I hate math. I was never really good at it. And for all the people who want to say, "Oh, but you always got an A in math," we did it for a grade, right?
Exactly.
And we learned how to finesse that system. Like we said, we didn't cheat, but we learned how to finesse that system easily, right, Dom?
Yes, sir.
That being said, closing out, thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Rule 34 podcast.